from Yomi's 3 variables, so we have now increased it to 5. So we have brought in the core variables of learning self-efficacy and then outcome expectations into the work. Okay, so so at this point, can we actually discuss on this? Does anyone have any? Is anyone confused anywhere? So we can actually take it from there. Explain them first before we can move on.
No, maybe Doc, maybe you throw more light on why you chose to bring in the learning outcome and self-efficacy into this particular title. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, so look at. Let me share the model here. Supposing I want to make it, supposing I want to make my work a little more complicated, or I want to make it a little more robust, because if you look at now, you can see here. Look at this. On the social cognitive career theory. The theory recognizes that self-efficacy plays an important role to goals. Are you seeing that? There's this line between self-efficacy to goals, even self-efficacy to actions, and even self-efficacy to outcome attainment. So because of this, and look at this, there is also a direct relationship between learning experiences to outcome expectations, and then to goals, and then to actions. Okay, but from here, we can't get to see a direct relationship from outcome expectations to attainment. If you, in your own study, develop a direct relationship between outcome expectations to attainment and find it statistically significant, then you are also contributing to research in your own way. Are you seeing the support the contributions you're making to knowledge? Now, so because the social cognitive career theory recognizes these two important variables as mediators, you can see there is a direct relationship between these two. It means that learning experiences improve students' self-efficacy, leading to outcome expectation, leading to actions. And so let me go back to that PowerPoint, and then that can also help us. All right, so you could see this is the final model that we have come up with. So at this point, I can decide to call this, of course, this is my hypothesis 1, and this is my hypothesis 2. Sorry, this is my hypothesis 1, the direct relationship between this to this. Remember, this line is the relationship between this to this, and then the hypothesis 2 is the relationship between this and goal, and then I want to develop the hypothesis 3. If you want, you can call this I can call this hypothesis 1A, okay? 1A, 1B, 1C, okay? And then
where is 1A?
You could see 1A here. This is hypothesis 1A. That is the direct relationship between perception of learning quality to graduate employability. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. So you can see hypothesis 1.
Sorry, maybe you should write that 1B so that it will be clear to us.
Okay.
Put it there, 1A, as you put it for 1B.
Is there?
1A, where is it? Hypothesis 1A.
Direct
by the rights.
See hypothesis 1A.
Okay, I've seen it.
The line from here
I
to
have seen
here.
it. Thank you.
Aha. Okay, so you have hypothesis 2A. So this is going to be 2B. H2B, okay, and so this is going to be this is going to be hypothesis 3A. If you want to now make your work very, very complex and more robust, testing a lot of hypotheses. That is if you want, but sometimes it works for us because when you just test one or two hypotheses, it makes your paper empty. And so somebody will begin to ask, so what is the contribution to knowledge in this study? And did you actually, because I have done a study where I decided to play down on the theories, and I just developed a little, and then the editor, one of the reviewers, asked me, did you actually take into cognizance the importance of the other aspects of the theory that are not in your title? So I can now, at this point, now you can see your missed title. I can decide to now come here and title my work like this. I can now recapture my work like this. I can say I can say okay,
mediating.
Multiple mediating effect of multiple mediating effects of students' perception of learning quality on graduate employability. So this can just be my title. I don't need to make it bold. I don't need to make everything appear in my title. I don't need to make everything appear in my title. I don't need to capture all the variables, all the variables in my work. Okay. So now remember that in this study, there are multiple mediating variables here. There are multiple mediating variables here. These lines are just so let me show you the mediating variables right now. I can just display them here for you so you can understand them. Okay, so number one, I say mediating variable or mediating effects, not mediating variables, mediating effect this time. I can just have them here. Okay, so I'm going to have, let's say I will have this. So let us just use quality. Let us just use students' perception of quality as SPQL. Another thing that is going to help you in a study when you're doing your study is the use of abbreviation. Abbreviate the independent variable, but not everything. You don't need to abbreviate everything when you are writing. Okay, just make it a little, not too much. And then we have learning. Oh, why this? So we can have learning self-efficacy. So, oh, that reminds me. There's another link to here. You can see there's another link to here, and there is another mediation to this. So can you see how complex this work is getting now? So this is a robust research. If I get to see this type of work in a Nigerian paper, I will sit down very well to review it. Even if the author is making some mistakes, you'll be happy to tell the author this is what. So you don't just say that is this type of hypothesis we used to test. That is that you put H0, you put H0, and you come and say there is a significance between the mean difference between male and female respondents. Meanwhile, you are not testing, you're not doing a quantile experimental research of control group and treatment group. You just come up, collect data from cross-sectional, using a cross-sectional approach, and you just say there is no significant difference between male and female respondents in the whole Ekiti state or in the whole Abakaliki metropolis. I don't get where those things are coming from. They were done far back 1940 something. They don't exist anymore. So So we can take graduate employability. We can just say employability. Okay. Then number 2, we can look at. So this mediation is okay. So here we can put another hypothesis here. Sorry, hold on. I can move this down a little bit. So we're gonna have a lot of space. So, and then I will need to put this hypothesis at this point. So you can see you have a lot of hypotheses to test. Even at that, you have very little variables. Variable 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But you have a lot of robust analysis to test, and that will give your paper a lot of things to discuss. So that's pretty good. So we have hypothesis 4B. Okay, so this is a typical social cognitive career theory model. This is how it looks like. Looks good. Looks good. Pretty good. Okay, so now the mediation. So you can see that here, this says that there's a direct relationship between SPQL. Okay, let me put it in brackets so you can SPQL. Okay, so you don't get confused where it's coming from. I can reduce this a little, or I can draw it back a little. Oh, sorry. Just make it look good. So when you are drawing your research models, you need to be very careful. You need to be sure where the lines are going. So you don't draw a model upside down. So, because when I was learning research, there was a day I drew a model and I sent it, and the editor, that's about 6 years ago. And the editor made very jealous of me. He said, "Can you even imagine your model? I don't understand what is this. Where is this model going to? From where to where?" So this arrow shows you exactly where your research is looking at. What your research is looking at is it looking at direct relationship between this to this, relationship between this to that. So these arrows are showing the direct relationships from variable A to B, and variable B to C, variable C to whatever. Okay, so the mediation here, because our focus here is that we have one independent variable, we have one dependent variable, we have mediating variable 1, we have mediating variable 2, we have mediating variable 3. Okay, pretty good. Then we have SPQL. We have SPQL to learning, okay, outcome leading to employability. So that's exactly what we have here. Oh, sorry. That's mediating hypothesis 1, or you can call this H5A. Then I want to show you the arrows to know where they are actually going. Okay. So I'm going to put up a little arrow here. So colleagues, this is the in thing in research. Okay, this is the in thing in research. If you are in social science, if you are in education, if you are in management field, you must, if you really want to be an authority in your field, honestly speaking, you need to hypothesis 5B, honestly, you need to do yourself a lot of good to put in your best in research. I think I prefer this particular arrow than the other one. Okay, so I copy this, I paste. So it's getting more and more interesting. Okay. Then we have
sorry for the interruption, Doc. What do you mean by the out you wrote there? Is it
outcome.
Learning outcome expectation.
Okay.
That is learning outcome. Okay, let me say L learning out. That is or do I put them? Okay, let me put them. Let's learning self-efficacy, right? And then L out, so you don't get confused. L out. Okay, I think that's good. But colleagues, let me take you back to social cognitive career theory. Okay, let me take you back there. Now, can we see that there is a line between social cognitive, between self-efficacy expectations to outcome expectations? So if we want to maintain this, if you want to test this analysis in an Amos file, structural equation modeling, you will notice that Amos will suggest, the software will suggest you to test the relationship between this variable and this variable. You may get something important. So because of that, I want to recognize this in this study, this particular study, so I can move this backwards. Then I would also want to test this to see so you're seeing it's getting more complicated, and so I can call this, so you will see how robust this analysis will look like if you are to run this analysis to make a lot of sense, and it will contribute so much to knowledge, a lot. So I can call this particular line going down to this one, I can call it hypothesis 6.
H5.
Okay, I can call it hypothesis 5 and then call my mediating variables hypothesis 6. So I can call this hypothesis 6. Okay, so now I have another variable, so you can see at this point, we have another mediation from students' perception of quality through learning self-efficacy. Okay. Sorry, colleagues. Let me save something, please. I'm sorry. Oh, so sorry. Okay. Yeah. So you can see at this point, there's also a very complex mediation effect from here. So you can see from this point to this point to this point. So we have another mediation here. So we have another mediation here. Hypothesis 6C.